college football analyst for ESPN and radio host, 710 ESPN in Seattle. Brock, we're at Zappone Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on the out of the studio today, so sorry if you were holding for a minute, man. How are you, Brock?
Oh, all good, man. I'm doing great. No problem at all.
Hey, thanks for your time. And in the college football world, the craziest aspect to us is this Michigan job. What in the heck is going on with the Wolverines program right now?
That's funny. We just got done talking about that on the set of College Football Live. I'm up here at the mothership in Connecticut, and you know, I made the point that I think Michigan is one of those preeminent jobs that you can win a national title at. Gus Malzahn, a year ago, I was calling one of his games early in the season, and Gus said, you know what, Auburn's one of 15 jobs that you can win a title at, in his estimation, and I'd have to include Michigan on that list. And, you know, when you look at resources, when you look at tradition, when you look at recruiting demographics, when you look at money and the opportunities that you have there, I think it is one of those marquee jobs, and I think it's taking some time, and rightfully so, because you have to get this one right. You just can't keep swinging and missing. As much as everything I just said and all the advantages they have, you know, there is a lot more of a level playing field in college football, and you can't afford to swing and miss yet again, as they have in their previous two hires, just not getting it right. So, in my opinion, do whatever you got to do to get that guy out of San Francisco, but what do I know?
Ooh, I like that. We just heard that Les Miles has basically said he will not take the job. Is that posturing, or do you really believe he's not going anywhere?
No, I don't think so, and I love the little byline. I will not take the job, and I haven't heard from him. So, you know, I think that's probably an important little aspect of that story. And, you know, I mean, seriously, all joking aside, I live up in Seattle, and I've watched a wonderful rivalry. I think it's gone. I think it's over. I think it ended on Sunday between the Seahawks and the 49ers, Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh. But if I'm that AD and I'm that school, and I know they already made the trip, and I know they made a lot of overtures, and I know that Jim has said he wants to continue to coach in the NFL, but I would do whatever it took to get that guy to Ann Arbor, to mix it up with Urban Meyer, to mix it up with James Franklin, to mix it up in that Big Ten. He would be my guy, and I'd be willing to pay and do whatever it took to get him.
Do you think he would want to do that? See, here's my thing. Brock Huard with us, ESPN college football analyst. He's calling us from the mothership today. Pretty cool. And Brock, do you think that Jim Harbaugh actually wants to leave an NFL gig and go back to college? Is that something he'd want to do?
I don't know. I think the biggest hurdle you've got to get over, and I think these NFL guys, you know, the ones when I run into these guys on the road, the conversation you hear is the recruiting element. And that's where he was so incredible at Stanford. They never get the credit for it, you know, and Andrew Luck ended up on the farm for a reason, because they recruited the heck out of him and really pushed and really challenged a lot of the Stanford stereotypes when it came to recruiting, and they outworked people. And I think he knew the energy it took to do that, to really turn that program, and that's probably his biggest hesitation, is that when you're going up against Ohio State, you're going up against James Franklin, who is a relentless recruiter, you're going up against Mark Antonio and what they do. I mean, that is an incredibly competitive environment, and that would be, I guess, the one hurdle that I'd have to hear right from him, that if he said, hey, listen, I don't have it anymore. I don't have it in the tank to go and recruit the way I did at Stanford, relentlessly, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And if that's the case, then I guess I go find plan B. But that may be, you know, one of the big challenges and hurdles that he'd have to overcome in his own mind.
Brock Huard of ESPN. And Brock, help settle the argument on this between myself and Levack. We both feel, this is going to be all you, Brock. You're going to decide this thing. So Jim Harbaugh, in my opinion, when you are as successful as he's been in San Francisco, it's a gigantic red flag whenever this team wants you out and this front office is willing to trade you or let you go. I don't touch him unless I have the exact situation within my franchise or within my college. That makes me nervous, but yet Levack says you got to bring this guy in. He's a proven winner. Where do you sit on that?
Yeah, I'd probably be on the latter side of that, and I would just say to you this, that how many people and how many coaches did that organization run through before Harbaugh? How much dysfunction was there with the Singletaries and you know, the people that preceded him? A, how much did they lose? But B, it just was an unstable, dysfunctional organization. And some of those characters are still in place, and frankly have not gotten along very well with Jim, and have not been able to form those relationships and build relationships, just like they didn't do very well with the previous regimes ahead of them. So as much as you may see that a red flag of Harbaugh, I would probably step back and say, yeah, that's a pretty big red flag for the York family and for the ownership there that's had a real hard time, even amidst the success on the field with Jim, had a real hard time before Jim, and more than likely is going to have a hard time after Jim. And I think Mr. Harbaugh's resume, everywhere he's been, has been pretty darn good.
All right, Brock, it's the most wonderful time of the year, bowl season. What bowls can we not miss? Do we have to watch? What are the most exciting ones that jump out to you?
Well, you have to watch the Peach Bowl and you have to watch the Alamo Bowl because I'm calling those games. So now that we've bonded in this way and we formed a relationship the way we have and I've settled disputes, those two are got to be the two that you watch more than anything else. But all joking aside, that Peach Bowl is going to be an absolute blast. Actually, Tebow is going to jump in the booth with me and Tessitore, which will be fun. And then watching Ole Miss and TCU, a TCU team that feels slighted, an Ole Miss team whose season unfortunately came off the tracks. But what a wonderful matchup that's going to be. And as a guy that grew up and lives on the West Coast, you could not have a better Rose Bowl. To see Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, two NFL quarterbacks go at it, the defending champion, all the storylines that the Seminoles bring, what Oregon has done this year with their Heisman Trophy winner, that is must-see TV on New Year's Day.
Brock Huard of ESPN. And Brock, Levack and I did our show live from the mothership there in Bristol 2 weeks ago. We were in the original studio from 1979. They sure did a heck of a lot for great accommodations, like the walls were falling apart. It was great, though. You kind of felt the vibe in there. But one thing we noticed, we saw Adam Schefter 7 different times all around campus, and it was like, where's Waldo? Every single time, he was on his cell phone. Can you confirm that Adam Schefter is on his cell phone every time you see him?
Yes, that is 100% true. Yes. Yeah, I think I can't share that. My filter just went up. I had a little nugget for you, but I can't do that the first time I joined your show. So maybe the next time I'll share a little Schefter story with you guys.
So we're calling you back in an hour.
Yeah, I'll talk to you in a few. Yeah. Well,
right on.
Hopefully we can talk to you in Phoenix. We'll be at the Super Bowl at that time, so we'll be looking for you then, Brock, and hopefully get you back on the show.
I hope so, and I hope those Seahawks keep at it, man. I think if they play to the standard they played at, maybe we can be in the Super Bowl once again, because that was a lot of fun for our city. So thanks, my man. Good to catch up with both you guys.
Brock Huard of ESPN. Thanks, Brock, for your time.